Yes, welcome to the Shot of FootyCast live from Backchat Studios. Your favourite old couple in Mark Reddings and Will Schofield with you every Monday and Thursday. Shotofootycast.com.au, of course, Backchat Studios, built by Grounded. Hello, darling. How are you?
Hi, Scully. Yeah, I just only come to my attention recently that a lot of people listening to this feel as if you are overstepping the mark with some of the criticism, some of the lack of respect that you're showing, and I can't help but agree with them at times. But it's okay. I've rolled with a lot more abuse than that in my life, so I'm happy
in your own house.
Yeah. Yeah, only 20 minutes ago, actually, yeah.
What, it sort of got marched out the door, did you?
No, just, things that I need to improve around the house, I need to do, and my daughter telling me my work ethic at time. I go, my work ethic?
What?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a stop, start, continue every morning in your house, is it?
Yeah, that's just...
anyway. Paul Ruse, sort of the Bloods culture, that's how it's operating in your house.
Yeah, and I just... so this is an escapism for me. And then they hear it, and then it's back to reality because they give me... Why did you have to reveal that we had a discussion about you not watering the pot plants out the front? Yeah, I forgot, when my wife was away, I forgot to water the pot plants out the front.
No. Is that what it was?
There's more
there was going to be something.
No, there's that, and the muesli's not... I don't sort of... You use a scooper? I just pour it. So the muesli, she does homemade muesli, which is beautiful, but instead of giving the scooper, I just tip the bowl, and so she goes, and you leave me with the crap at the bottom, like all the bad stuff. Anyway, that's just two of many that I can run through. This is a footy podcast, not my sort of marital setup.
Who cares about the footy?
You should say this podcast is just heading towards different areas.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of footy podcasts around you can go listen to, or you can listen to this. You boys just discovered Ronan Fitzy, our main man, who literally just runs everything in here these days. He works for Seven with you, and you just discovered you'll be going to Melbourne together. He's going to be on the flight with you.
Yeah, I thought I was going a little bit early, but it's good to hear he's coming over the same flight, so might be able to save us half a cab fare on the way to the airport. From the airport to the hotel. I'll just chip in, son.
So will you be in business, and Ronan will be sort of up in sort of 35?
I'll tell you what I'll be. I'll be in economy, but the only thing I do have is a Qantas club, so I will go and have an orange juice pre-game.
+1?
Yeah, I'll take +1 if he's there.
Will you invite him?
Well, it depends how many people are there. It goes into sort of a...
Where does he fall? Well, where does he fall in the hierarchy?
Dean Neal's the executive producer, so he's probably just shy of that.
Okay. Under that? What if Cuzzy's there? Would it be Fitzy or Cuzzy?
Cuzzy, good luck trying to find Cuzzy. He's a hard man to track down at the best of times, so I won't worry about Cuzzy. He'll find his own way through customs and through the airport himself.
Last time we were interstate together, Skeet, we were in Shotgun Willie's, we were in the whiskey bars. Like, what are we expecting from Melbourne? I've not been for several years.
Can I just say, the Shotgun Willie's experience, I was in there for about one song. And
and it was the highlight of my whole trip. Skater!
People recognised you in that venue. Like, you haven't been to Shotgun Willie's. It is a very small venue. How many seconds was Skeeter in there before someone yelled out, Skeeter?
Do you want the answer in full seconds or milliseconds? It was not
instantaneous.
Instantaneous.
Skeet enters, people recognise you. So that is what the Shelter Footy
And you know what,
is
30 years ago, even 20, maybe even 5 years ago, maybe even last year, I'd have hung in there. But no, I decided to just quickly go out the front, and we just sat there and had a drink. Anyway, is there footy happening or not?
No, that's it. That's all I've got time for. Shelter Footycast, of course, we're the WA's best footy show. Asterix, but not Asterix. WA's best beer combined to bring you the biggest footy news and Skeeter's relationships.
So how does it always end up in my...
Feel free to ask me. You can.
You do nothing. You're the most boring individual I've ever met. I don't know how I'm still your friend.
And the abuse is bad from me. Well, listen to that. Oh. You're boring. You're boring.
I'm
do
right.
Nothing. And I cannot argue. All right, Grounded, of course. Paywise, they'll be bringing us Skeeter's Delve. We went a bit early on Monday, but I assume you've got something packed and ready to go, Skeeter. Paywise.
If I want to delve, I'll delve.
.com.au. We do need to get in contact with Elliot, the head of comms and media at the Western Bulldogs, to arrange our good man Booker Kumas.
I tell you, it's going to be a sort of a love triangle because there's going to be myself, Karmas,
yes,
Buku Karmas, and Matty Hill.
Oh,
I've just done I've done a rehash of the Bulldogs Richmond game because I'm calling both teams this weekend.
Great.
And Matty Hill, one of the great race callers of our generation.
We get Matty down there.
He's got no idea. He's having issues. He's got like me. He's had you have a mental block with some players saying their name. Jacko has it pretty regularly.
I do.
And you do as well. Anyway, so
Buku's our man. So we'll track him down. Homewise Solar, of course, bringing us the guarantee of the week. Your solar's still going well at your house?
Brilliantly. The costs are right down.
Aspect Accountants.
What do you think I'm doing for the environment? No, I'm doing it for my own benefit, you clown.
Put that Homewise Solar. Who gives a shit about the environment? What about your back pocket?
Well, let's be honest. That's what most people do it for.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's what you come here to get.
Honesty.
Honesty about our sponsors.
It's such a lonely word, as Billy Joel used to sing. Everyone is so... Yeah, go on.
Yeah. How long are we into this podcast?
Let's get into it.
Okay, Aspect Accountants bring us the numbers. Reid signs a contract extension through to 2032. That, of course, happened probably just after the show here Monday, Skeeter. Pretty good result for Freo. They're doing a good job at signing these players up early, so the heat doesn't come on them later on when they sort of come off market. So well done to Freo again.
Yeah, and Murphy talked about the culture, the family environment that he's playing in. And you look through the list, and obviously it's Luke Jackson. There's a myriad of players that have got these long-term deals. Hayden Young.
Tracy Brayshaw, Sarong.
The list goes on. Goes on and on. So, and a lot of those, as you have pointed out, are Victorian lads to begin with. Now, they were drafted here, but that is still a great feather in the cap of what's happening at the Fremantle Dockers team. And Hugh Davies, a little known sort of player in the scheme of things, but he's re-signed. So they've just built a really good list. And whether they win the premiership this year or not, I think they've set themselves up really well in the next 2 or 3 to get one.
It's just funny with signings and contracts, and people come out at these other clubs like Gold Coast and Essendon and St Kilda and North Melbourne, and winning and being in an environment where you have a chance of winning is the biggest. That signs people automatically almost. Like that's the biggest lure you can give. Not the lifestyle, not the sun, not even the family culture. Winning, I think, has a big part to play in this. And clearly, those players that have signed on earlier, in what we mentioned in Brayshaw and Sarong and Young and Jackson and Tracy and all these guys. Yeah, they're setting their foundations, but I think they know they're on a bit of a winner with that group. And if they can keep it together, who knows what they could do. Haven't really delved too hard into the...
If I want to delve, I'll delve.
MRO and Tribunal this year.
That's been just such a contrast in the reactions from 3 former players, 3 highly credentialed players, and I'll put you into that category yourself.
Thank you,
Jacko. And David Mundy. Just been really, and you're to be honest with you, you're the odd man out, which is a surprise everyone. And I'm actually, believe it or not, sort of.
This is disappointing. What you're about to say.
I'm partially in your. I'm not fully in your corner, but I think what you said by and large is right. I've had David Mundy saying on Radio 6PR it's shocking. I've had Glenn Jakovic say it was almost a thug act. I said, look, I can't go down that path. I know he deserved to be penalised. I understand there's a bad look. Calls for 4 or 5 weeks. I can't buy that, and I know you don't either.
What are we? Look, you know that I'll come out and say things, and I'm just stirring and different things. I've looked at this multiple times because I feel a little bit odd one out by looking at it, and I'm like, am I seeing something different? Am I perhaps missing something? I've watched the whole play now, and I've watched the context of beforehand. I just really don't think the action in itself was thug or shocking. If you watch the action, yeah, okay, he was lying on the ground, but he was given the jumper up, jumper down, chest was the thing that hit the ground. Mitch would be embarrassed, I'm sure. I don't know Mitch that well, but I reckon I know him enough.
Why would he be embarrassed?
He played for the free kick in the first place, throwing his head towards the ground and never hit the ground.
A lot of players do that.
First place. Yeah, well, he'd be embarrassed by that. You shouldn't be playing free kicks.
Shouldn't be playing free kicks. Half the competition does it. Nick Dacos, they're all playing for free kicks.
And then he continued the play. We've heard from Ty Gallop, who said it was retaliation for Georgiades grabbing his broken thumb, right? I think he accentuated the entire thing. And if he didn't, well, he would have been off with HIA. He would have missed this game with concussion. If it was a outcome-based thing where it actually did damage and it was a thug act and it was shocking, Mitch Georgiades would be out indefinitely because of his concussion history, but he's not. He's playing this week and he's completely fine. He played out the game. So, look, I think there's a number of things. Retaliation, something we don't really want in the game.
It's a look. The AFL doesn't like the look, and that's the bottom line.
That is what the issue with it is, Skeeter. They have made this ruling, and you can read the Tribunal hearing, and you can read the words. They've made this ruling to deter people at every level of football not to do the retaliation. Now, I understand that. I understand retaliation is not something we want in our game. I think there's a significant issue with the AFL making rulings and tribunal decisions and weeks in the AFL system to impact Auskickers. The job of directing and educating and developing young Auskickers is not players in a game worth 4 points at the highest level of the land with the pressure that there is in front of a crowd and the money on the line and the investment there and the pressure and the aggression and the physicality. That's not Auskick. Auskick is for 6-year-olds, and you as the coach, you as parents, when you get home, it's up to you to have those discussions. It's not up to the AFL to wield their sword and say, this is right, this is wrong, you can't do this here in the AFL, and so we don't want kids doing it. I'm really against that. The 5 pillars, got no problem with it, with discrimination, absolutely. But actions on the field, Skeeter, that you can't be making rulings at the tribunal to educate Auskickers. That's the job of people running Auskick.
So, playing devil's advocate, it wasn't on football act in the sense that the ball was nowhere near it.
Correct.
So there's that. What penalty if it's not 3 weeks? And I've got no issue with there being a penalty with that. But I do agree with you. One thing, and the vision, there's only one angle that I've seen. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It wasn't. People are saying he slammed his head into the ground. He had his jumper, and as you know, you've done it. Everyone's done it. You sort of give it that one. Now, was it done with extreme force? I can't imagine it was certainly wasn't the point where he was concussed. But bottom line, what penalty, if any, would you have given him?
Give him honestly, mate, give him a week if you need to. I think it was...
For being stupid?
Honestly, yeah, I think it was no more than a fine. Rough conduct, give him a fine, off the ball, don't do it, slap on the wrist, get on with it. They were at each other all game. We've got the retaliation piece. If you're going to go stepping above this, well, Mitch Georgiades should be getting fined or suspended for touching an injured player. It's just ridiculous that going down that path. Of course, Mitch Georgiades is trying to get an advantage over his opponent, so he's playing with a broken thumb. Go for your life. You're out there. Get on with it. Look, I know the action. People will say, well, you can't be doing that. It's a terrible look and all of that sort of stuff. But I just don't think it was that bad. And the fact that the retaliation piece, it wasn't about nothing, and it wasn't a thug hit off the ball. It wasn't a king hit.
A lot of noise, though. I'd say when you're hearing Jacko and David Mundy and the footy media, they had to, at the end of the day, they had to get a result, the AFL Tribunal.
Both those blokes on the AFL sort of pay packet.
Who's that?
Well, Jacko and Dave Mundy. They're both All-Australian committee members. Yeah. They wouldn't want to criticise the AFL too much, I wouldn't have thought.
No, well, that's probably true.
So I'm just saying how I see it, and so are they. We've got differing opinions, and I just don't think it was a big deal, Skeeter. So we move on, though. Ty Gallop will miss the next 3 weeks for the Brisbane Lions. He's turned himself into a pretty good player down back, started as a forward, now a backman.
Happy with the fixtures as they've come out for the next 23-24.
Freo play the Crows on Friday night, then the Blues on Saturday Arvo. Eagles will play the Giants on Sunday Arvo, then the Hawks on Sunday night.
Just completely graveyard shifts, as expected.
So the Hawks are the last game of the
season, home and away season. So, and it's a late afternoon game here.
That will mean, I reckon, that they think Hawks will need to maybe win big to secure a top 4 spot. They wouldn't have put a game, the last game of the year. They wouldn't have. They like having the...
I know, but I think what they've done, they've run into a bit of a dead end with regards to trying to create drama. It's some dud games in there.
Right.
So I don't think that there's, I think it's Josh Bowler, the guy who, we continually say. So this was a tough one to massage, and I know they waited as long as possible. Yeah, I'm not sure that there's too many gripping games in the last round, particularly.
It's just who's involved in them, like Essendon and Port Adelaide.
Wow.
Not going to really move the needle. And then they've gone Sydney North, West Coast Hawthorn. I think it's almost a switch.
So the question I think, always selfishly, is which game am I going to get assigned to in terms of commentating radio or TV? And you go, oh my God, that's Eagles Hawthorn. That's going to be there's no retirement, so I can think of from the Eagles.
I think the way they've done it, Hawthorn will have to win pretty well to finish 4th. I reckon that's what they're hoping for.
Who knows?
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like you care that much.
No, it's just, anyway, rounds, they're out now, so at least if you're planning on going to the Dockers play against Carlton, it's a Saturday, you can get over there on a Friday and enjoy.
Compared to last year, because you had the pre-finals bye, so the last game was Dogs Freo, they were trying to sneak into 8th, whereas this year, because it goes straight into wildcard, do you reckon they're protecting the wildcard teams from having a
short break,
5-6 day break?
Exactly.
Nice, Ronan.
Because otherwise, probably Collingwood Brizzy is the biggest game of the round, but if Collingwood are then going to play a wildcard on the Friday, they can't have a
They could also finish
turnaround.
top 6, couldn't they? Like this, it's so hard. It's so difficult to. And you're right. The wildcard turnaround is what they're worried about.
Essendon's last 4 contenders have been confirmed for the Essendon coaching job. Skeeter.
Okay.
James Hurd.
Yep.
We know that. He's got it. Jamie Graham here from Freo. Murray Davis.
Never heard of him, to be totally honest with you. No, well, I haven't heard.
Shout out Murray if you're listening. Crows director of football. Murray
So what do you know about Murray?
Nothing.
That's okay. I hadn't heard of Danny Daly really before he emerged at Brisbane.
Yes, and Mark McVeigh, who is at the Sydney Swans under Dean Cox. So they are the last 4. Update this morning. There's a 5th, Dean Solomon, to also be a part of the process.
What a
for the permanent
surprise.
job. But I mean, come on.
It's hard. It's hard for him to make a case given the results, and that's what you see the results. A bit like the Josh Fraser, who was asked this morning, by the way, the same question, and he has not committed, even though he's been asked to take part in the process. He is still going to wait until after the Brisbane Lions game before he takes part, or says he's going to take part in the process. But I think he's won 9 of 11 games. He has to be part of it. But is he ready? I'm sure he's
seeking advice from key people close to him and looks sets to join the Carlton process in the near future.
You think
it's mean?
Yeah, that's
he's been holding his cards very close, Josh.
Can I say the words fait accompli? Yeah.
Of course you can. It wouldn't be a podcast episode without him. Who do you think gets both of those jobs? You got any idea?
What do you reckon?
James Hurd, it's remarkable to me that he is in the top 5 coaching candidates for an AFL coaching position, Essendon or not. That's remarkable.
I think if you're going to go outside of the Hurd factor, I think the 2 guys that sort of obviously are being highly thought of, Jamie Graham and Corey Enright. I'm assuming Corey's still
doesn't look like it.
Not part of the. He's part of the Carlton mix, isn't he?
Carlton, sorry.
Yeah. So I think those 2 blokes will get a decent look at it, but as we know, unless you're sitting through the interviews and then the process, it's very hard to get a gauge as to who's impressing and who's not.
I'll make a call. James Hurd gets the Essendon job and Jamie Graham gets the Carlton job, and it is going to affect Fremantle if that happens, because I think Carlton will try to do that by end of season. You can't see Jamie Graham staying at Freo for finals if he's the head coach of Carlton.
That's happened before, hasn't it?
I feel like it has.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens, and it'll be a significant loss to them, coach of the forwards.
Could you not announce that in grand? A lot of these decisions get announced grand final.
If you're
week.
Carlton and you've made the call,
I reckon
I reckon you're trying to disrupt other teams. Like, wouldn't you just make the call? Why would you wait a month? Get him in there, get him working, get him watching finals with a Carlton hat on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wouldn't have thought
possibly
having him coach in the finals for Freo would help Carlton.
Jeez, it'd be a great opportunity for Jamie, but you've done the hard yards with Freo, and then you have to bail. But yeah, that's one that we'll have to wait and see.
Good stuff only, thanks to Revo Fitness, Skeeter. We're giving away $2,000 every month to support grassroots clubs across Australia. And we've got a winner from last month, Skeeter. It is the Claremont District Junior Umpires Association, sent in by Geordie. This was Peter Stanton, who clocked up his 1,500th game as a junior footy umpire at the age of 79. You go to school with him, or he's spent decades mentoring young umpires, supporting nervous first gamers, sharing stories at the pub and providing the best umps are good people. So well done to Pete. The Umpires Association, I think, will send them over the $2,000. I'm sure that'll help them, especially needing more umpires at junior level, Skeeter.
Yeah, I know we've spoken about what a great contributor he's been, so well done to Pete. And I know he's going to ask his wife whether she's happy for him to go around in 2027, so hopefully...
So he's like the rest of us, he's going to get permission first.
It's one year at a time for Pete.
All right, well done, Pete. That is thanks to Revo Fitness, of course. If you do want to get involved with this $2,000 that's up for grabs, send in your stories, great stories, good stuff. Only the good stories in footy, want to follow them. And thanks to Revo Fitness for making that happen. Shelter Brewing Co. Beer fresh from the Busselton Foreshore. Freo versus Western Bulldogs Friday night, and a big stat thanks to Aspect, 33.8%. That is specific of Murphy Reid's kicks inside 50 have found a mark, ranked number one in the comp, Skeeter. He is the best inside 50 kick in the competition.
Doesn't, when you see Murphy or Nasai Wanganeen-Miller or Nick Dacos use the ball off the outside of their boot, sometimes it's a 20-metre kick, sometimes it's 30, but they've almost perfected. I'm not saying it's a Gaelic sort of kick, but it's a...
As the balls drop, they can change where the kick is going.
It's just the angle. That I think has been the standout for me this year with those three players. But yeah, he's tracking beautifully. The Dogs don't have and bear in mind, no Aaron Norton coming across, so the Dogs are going to be looking for... they're going to look for some more forward options. But they don't have really a tagger per se, do they?
No, and they won't tag. The Bulldogs never tag. They just go head-to-head. And it'll be an interesting midfield battle. I think we learned a little bit from press conference this week with Justin Lomue, quoted talking about Mason Cox and Sean Darcy. There's still work to do on a few things Sean has been working on. So they've moved forward with Mason Cox as the number 2 man, and it's going to be difficult for Darcy to break into the side. I floated yesterday that tomorrow's game probably is the last game you can really rest someone, with the MCG coming up, and then you probably can't rest with the last 2 given that you're close enough to a break anyway. I would seriously look at resting Luke Jackson in this game. Like it is a great opportunity to do it. You've got 2 ruckmen vying for one spot. Ruck them off.
A ruck-off?
Yeah, it's a ruck-off, 50% each. Just let them go head-to-head and see what they can do, because you're not going to learn much more about Sean Darcy in the waffle. Like, he'll just continue to get hit-outs and play how he plays, the same as Mason Cox. But you could learn a bit against Tim English in the ruck against the Western Bulldogs, but they probably won't do it.
No, and what they've done is with Jackson and Brayshaw and others, they've not managed their games, they've managed their game time. So they still play, and they want to play by the sounds of it. Everyone's making the noises. Brendan Cox is going to miss this weekend. Again, which is...
I think it's a good thing.
A good thing, but yeah, it's a minor knee, so that they're just looking after him on that basis. Yeah, look, I've got no issue even before the Carlton game. Who do they play second last game here? I'm trying to...
Ronan will know, he's a nuffy.
Yeah. Adelaide. So that's their round 23 game. So potentially, if they've got top spot, why wouldn't you rest? Whether it's Tracy or Pierce or someone of that ilk, I've got no issue doing that, because you're going to play the next week against Carlton, I'm guessing. So, yeah, look, they have done it pretty well. And they've had Bolton, they've had Cox. There might be one more when the team's announced tonight as to who's in and who's out. But the Cox-Darcy one, I just wonder, I keep thinking to myself, the new ruck rules, amongst other things, has not played into Sean's hands at all.
No, and Mason's height and more athleticism makes him the better pairing for Luke Jackson, really. So hats off again to the recruiting team, like, for getting him there in the first place. I think, it's a bit of a masterstroke as you look back at it, but that'll continue to be a discussion. Skeet, what's the weather looking like, Skeet, tomorrow?
The odd shower, just the odd shower, but not enough to prevent people sort of flocking there in their droves. And I don't think Wharfie time will be called upon at this stage of the season. I think that the next time we will hear it will be in the finals. That would be my guess, providing the AFL, in their wisdom, allows the Dockers to have some control in that area.
The Dogs are 4-1 in interstate away games for the year, so they've been good away from home, the Bulldogs.
Well, you think some of their wins, they beat the Brisbane Lions early doors, they knocked over Adelaide in a classic, so there's a couple of big wins. So, yeah, I just wonder whether they're going to be that mid-range team as opposed to a contender this year.
I'm not sure about ins for the game tomorrow. Have we seen that yet? No, teams are out. No, they're not out yet. Bailey Dale's still not back. Butterick's not back. Trelaw's not in the side. They'll get better, the Western Bulldogs, but I've got Freo at home with a comfortable enough victory. But, it feels like Freo's last 4 games, that if they had to write it up, I reckon it'd be about these sort of teams. Like, of course, they're on top, so everyone's below them, but they've got 4 pretty challenging games, I think. Like, they've got the Bulldogs, they've got Melbourne,
MCG.
They've got Adelaide, they've got Carlton. Like, all of those sides, when they play, they'll need to win their games as well. So if you can get through, play at a really high level, they'll come into finals feeling quite confident about how they're going. So expect them to win, Skeet. But I think it'll be maybe a close one, maybe 4 goals.
Yeah, second halves, that's where they get, if they're close at half time, they've just got this other gear. So, yeah, the Dockers, it'd be folly to tip against them.
We do have some suggestions around the punishments or who's going
Rewards.
to win the tipping. There is most of them are punishments.
Oh,
If you probably know our audience, they're looking forward to someone make a goose of themselves. So just keep that in mind as we're tipping today.
Yeah,
you are one behind, and there is punishments going to be on the line. That will be happening.
That's fine. You can look at me as much as you want. This carries through the finals as well, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unless you plan on not being here.
No, I'll be here for most of it. Yeah,
for most of it.
well, I'm going to the grand final, but yeah, I'll be here for things are fluid.
All right, we both pick Freo.
Yes.
Richmond v West Coast.
Oh, jeez.
Goodness me. Big stat thanks to Aspect. The last time West Coast won at the MCG was against Hawthorn in 2021. Brendan Archie kicked 4 goals in a game 5 years ago. So Baker and Graham should return, which will be a bit of a boost for West Coast. Oliver Franco is out. What was the diagnosis other than a bloody big cut? Did he slice?
He sliced. I don't think it was anything more than that.
Out for the year,
superficial stuff. Yeah, well, maybe it is something below the surface that he's out for the year. I interviewed Brandon Starcevich on Monday, and I said, "Is there any chance he'd play again this year?" And he
give you much stars.
Didn't give us a lot, but to be fair, he's not in the medical team. So, but he's done, and I just wonder. Yeah, it's a bit of a blow for him trying to obviously keep his contract for next year, but I think he's done enough to suggest he's probably worthy of another look.
I look forward to the day when you come in and say, interview Brandon Starcevich, and he gave us the ins and outs, he gave us the game plan, he told us what's going on. Waffle options, CDT, your man.
Coming back in, 4 goals. Well, if he's not still hampered by a calf, which clearly he kicked 4 goals against West Perth last weekend and took a specky mark there. He comes back if he's fit, absolutely.
Josh Lindsay, Elijah Hewitt, Finn McRae had 35 or so. Any of those guys, do you start looking at some other options? Do you I don't know, different players in different spots?
Possibly. I mean, Lindsay, I think, has to come back in if he's fit. I like him. They did lose by 70 points last weekend, so I'm not sure he can just roll out the same.
That's a very good point.
The same.
Yes. Jack Williams played in the Derby, did he? Is that who makes way for the CDT? I'm just trying to remember.
Yeah, most likely, yes.
I thought their key forwards were clearly well held by Freo in the Derby. Like, they didn't have a lot of impact, so you'd expect a change there. So Job Shanahan had 6 touches. He's not going to go out. Jack Williams kicked 2. It's probably the best game Jack's played.
Yeah.
Harvey Johnson, I think the role he plays in the waffle versus what he plays at AFL level are very different. Have you seen him play at waffle level, Harvey Johnson?
Not enough. I mean, but having seen him play at the weekend, Johnston to me, I'm not 100% sure what he's going forward going to be for them.
West Coast are going to have to cut 4 extra players at the end of this year because they were allowed 4 extra spots for this year as a part of the compensation package they got. So if they're going to a Finn McRae or some of these players, I would think that in the last 4 rounds we'll see him at AFL level because you got to at least look.
What's the point of having them on your list if you're not going to give them a shot?
And West Coast aren't going to do anything in the last 4 that moves the needle in any way. So you may as well have a look. I wouldn't be surprised we saw that. Elijah Hewitt feels like he should be back in this side, but doesn't seem to be able to make his way in there. Richmond, of course, won this one last time they met, Skeeter, at Optus this year. 11 points was the difference. It was just one of 2 teams they've beaten in the last 36 games. Whew. So it hasn't been happy picking for Richmond. Eagles now have lost 7 in a row. Most of those have been competitive, though. Tigers have lost 8 in a row. So it's a battle of the battlers.
It is off Broadway. Both teams have used 40 players this year. Defensively, Richmond are 16th in the comp. They're offensively 16th. They're 18th, should I say. They're 18th and 18 in offence and defence, and West Coast are 16th and 16th.
Who's in front from a list rebuild point of view? Richmond win 17, 19, 20 premierships. West Coast win 18, challenging in 19 and 20. Both completely off the cliff and rebuilding. Who's in front right now?
I think Richmond, on the basis of the number of first rounders they have accumulated,
right?
but they've had the injury. They've had injuries. So on that basis, their list, I think, as a rebuild, they're obviously more advanced than the Eagles, who took a while to slip into that mode. Right. So look, doesn't mean they're going to play finals before the Eagles, but I think they've already accelerated their list rebuild quicker than what the Eagles have. I
don't know how many they've hit, Richmond. You can have all these first rounders, but you look at Freo's side and the players they've hit. Murphy Reid,
Freo, yep.
They've hit him. Josh Tracy, they've hit him as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Shanahan, his pick 30 is a very good pick.
That's a hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And Dersmer and Reid, I would have in front of Lawler as a number 1 pick.
No question. I know, totally. And look,
you have to hit them still, right?
Yeah, no, you're right with that. But yeah, I think there's not a lot between the rebuilds. But we haven't seen enough of those young kids coming through from Richmond. So that's why I'm just not sure of. They've certainly went on the path earlier, but you're right. Have they made the choices that will benefit them in the long term? Time will tell.
Who wins?
You know what? I've tipped Richmond on the basis of it's at the MCG, and they've got a reasonable record against the Eagles. I have no idea. There's more quality in the Eagles side, I think, and that's probably why you'll be tipping them. But I just lean towards Richmond.
Okay, I'll pick West Coast.
In your heart, who wins?
Oh, West Coast. I've done my tips already. I picked West Coast. I don't really know why, other than I do think they've been more competitive. I think it was a bit of an anomaly fall away against the best side in the comp last week. Feels weird to be overly positive about West Coast, but I do think they're on the right path. I do have them in front of Richmond in their rebuild process, and I think their game plan is probably it's a little less scrappy than probably Richmond's looks. I think Richmond's very helter-skelter in the way they play, whereas West Coast got a little bit more structure. Skills are still poor, so very vulnerable to turnover from poor skills. But I'll pick West Coast and look forward to going 2 ahead after that one. Collingwood v Geelong, Thursday night. That is tonight. Big game.
Massive game.
Big game. Big stat thanks to Aspect. Collingwood have scored 89 points in 5 consecutive matches for the first time since 2017. An impressive turnaround after struggling to score, and that was the big issue. How many games in a row have they won?
6, I think.
They have won 6 in a row, 7 to Brisbane. That's a big streak, and they'll probably continue that as the season goes on, Skeet.
Well,
I don't know about tonight.
Well, that's going to be difficult with only a few games to go.
I've just made that up.
Yeah, no,
they play Brisbane in the last round. Hawthorn, they go West Coast next week, and then they go Hawthorn, Brisbane. So, wins might be hard to come
But their victories have been good. They knocked over Adelaide, and they've got Schultz back in the side. They lose Maynard.
They love playing in Adelaide Oval.
They do, yeah. And look, Geelong probably are well adjusted to the MCG now. I think they play that ground well. It's a tough game to call given the quality of both sides, what it means to them. Because if you look at it, the winning side and the possibility of finishing in the top 6 becomes more likely, and losing means you're slipping back into that wild card setup, particularly Collingwood. You think of what's games to come, how difficult it is.
And Geelong have Essendon, North, Richmond following this. So they will guaranteed win those. So they're going to finish on a minimum of 14 wins, maybe 15 if they can win this game.
Yeah.
So you'd have them finishing in front of the Pies with a couple of tough matchups to come. Do we expect O'Sheen Mullen to go to Nick Dacos?
Absolutely.
Surely. Does he get the job? Does he get any sort of operation done? I can't say the word anymore.
Because it's just
I'm incredibly sorry, Mark.
No, you're laughing. I didn't say anything.
I'm sorry, audience. I just apologise that I say that many words into a microphone that one just keeps coming out. I do apologise.
It's like funny. I heard Luke Hodge on radio. He's got a term. He says, if you just sit back and listen, or sit back, and he uses that as his little fallback.
Damien Harwick says at the end of the day.
Oh, does he?
Oh, mate. Go and listen to him speak at the end of the day.
That could be one of our...
You want another segment?
Well, not another... Well, look at you get excited. Here comes some more income. No, there's a lot of terms that are overused and used by some players, coaches, media that is ad nauseum.
I don't mind that at all. So let's find a couple of things that are just getting thrown around willy-nilly. They're just
lean into this. I mean, all that sort of stuff. Let's connect. Let's connect. Whatever it is. Let's connect. That just
pathways. Pathways, like follow the pathways. What's the pathways to this?
No, Scully, I want to touch base with Liam Duggan. Can you connect me with him? Well, just some of the language and lingo. Anyway, we were talking.
What about nice to meet you? Do you enjoy that on an email? If someone sort of meets you via an email and someone says, hi Mark, nice to meet you.
Don't get too much of that. I sort of, it's technology getting a little bit out of my space. Emails are good. Collingwood, Geelong, wow. Yeah, they've had the better of them, Geelong, recent times.
Mullen, does he get the job done on him? No, gets it. But
I think a win for him, for Mullen, would be...
He's averaging 35 and 1.
Anything under 30 would be a massive win.
How's that? keep a player under 30 and it's a good game.
I think it is.
That's ridiculous.
It's 30 and under. And mind you, the thing with Geelong, no Max Holmes still there. If someone can put the clamps on Bailey Smith, a la Ed Allen, or someone of that nature, that makes the job fall in the midfield pretty much into the hands of an Atkins, who's not really he's a really good doer, but not someone who creates as much. So, outside of, with Holmes out, Cameron's still missing, and Cameron's done some really big damage against the Magpies. Shannon Neal, I really enjoyed his work in attack. This game is extremely difficult to call. And you do know that they're going to have a different build-up to tonight.
What is it?
So 5:27 roughly, match starts at 5:30. Both teams will run it separately, and then they'll go to position straight away, and then bang, 5:30, we're away.
How good's that? Do you think that's good?
I think it's different. Yeah, I mean, put it this way, we see it. You think of the EPL, the NRL, lots of codes where they just rugby union, they just run through the race into position and they play.
That's good. I like it a lot. I like it from if I'm a player. I used to hate. So what they do,
spend a lot of time,
and it's way too much.
It goes back to Terry Wallace many moons ago, and it was a good idea at the time. Why are we doing our warm-ups in the room? Let's get out there, get a feel for the atmospherics, etc.
That's fine.
They can still do that.
But what they do is they do individual warm-ups. So you got guys like Nick Rewalt running laps, and Josh
Tracy bouncing tennis balls.
Rowley's out there sniffing the grass. Do you know what I mean? Like Josh Kennedy's out there barefoot. That Pooper, connecting himself with the ground. Like, wrap it up, JK. Go and have a beer. And then you go into team warm-ups. But then you go inside, have your meetings, and there's the final warm up. I used to be there with Jeddah, Maston, but he was sort of hyperactive, bouncing off walls.
What, just hiding, were you?
Lecker. I just calming, just Shannon Hearn.
Meditating?
Not.
Well, I just thought you that sort of
a little bit of mindfulness, but just in terms of the amount of warm-ups.
I agree.
I love that. I reckon it's great.
As a commentator, I quite like seeing a bit of the action
But
pre-game.
you'll still get it.
You will,
You
I
just
agree.
won't get them on and off the ground. You'll get them a longer period on the ground. They'll go in, have a final meeting, get your shit on, get out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2. 1, 2.
Yeah, in the
1, 2,
room.
3.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4. You used to do that? You used to lead that?
In junior school,
Sounded a bit of a weakness about it from you.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of weaknesses about me.
Who are we picking? I probably had made my mind up, but you have just. I don't know who to pick. I might wait you to pick. Who are you going to pick?
I think I've tipped Geelong in the paper.
Oh, yeah, but that's subject to change.
It is subject to change.
Hang on, I'll find out who I actually tipped.
Who did you tip? Because then I can at least get a gauge as to where I
I know.
No, it's not. Hang on, I've already tipped first last game. I can't tip every game first.
I'll pick Geelong. By 3 points.
I will tip in this competition. I'll tip Collingwood.
Oh, you want one back? Could be 3 down.
You throw out a team without caring, and now there's forfeits on the line.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, you tip first.
No, I tipped Richmond first.
Thank you.
I tipped Richmond first.
Both of you. You used to didn't
not thank
care.
you, Ronan.
now you're playing mind games with each other. I like it.
There's not much between the two minds, I can tell you.
Meeting of the minds. That's a new podcast name. St Kilda v Sydney. Skeeter get parking tickets soon, so we got to move through these.
That's true. No, he was there last week. He was taking photos. I tell you what, if he does, there could be a murder on the dance floor, as they say.
I want you to come bash on the door if it does happen, and come and bring it in here, and we'll deal with it in here. Big stat, thanks to Aspect. Sydney has won this clash the last 7 consecutive times. The last 3 being an average of 10 goals.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
Hang on a sec.
Sydney
had beaten St Kilda.
St Kilda.
They got within a kick early this year.
Who did?
St Kilda and Sydney played out a thriller at the SCG. Sarong kicked a match winner. So
Sydney has won this clash last 7 consecutive times. The last 3 being by an average of 55 points. That can still exist, Skeeter.
They can.
With average, averages were. They could have beaten them by 100 each time.
It didn't happen in my mind. But that's okay.
So that's on Ronan if that's wrong. It's not my fault.
I'm happy to just challenge that. You're probably right though.
Max King to miss the rest of the season with that hamstring strain. So he was back for all of 1.5 quarters.
It was a big story, wasn't it, last week? And Ross, with his post-match press conference, went through...
was he front-footed, did he?
It was a bit of to and fro between the media and him, but it wasn't great. Now, hang on a sec.
The last two between them has both been by less than a goal. So I've got no idea.
And the game before that, it was 2 points. The game before that was 14 points. The game before that was 14 points. So where is this crap stat stuff coming from, young man?
Where have you pulled
that? Hope that doesn't continue on Channel 7 on the weekend.
Is it meant to be 5 points?
Might have been 5.
This is you should give this sort of info to Skeeter on air.
But you know what? I picked him up. I realised he was wrong, and that's why I delve, because it means I'm aware of all this sort of stuff. I'll delve.
I assume that you've got a delve coming up, and of course a Homewise Solar guarantee of the week. Marshall was out with a back injury last week. They should get him back. I'd like to see him play number 1 ruck, but they won't because they love De Koning. Saints still yet to beat a team above them this year on the ladder, which is a pretty grim stat, I reckon. And the Swans are yet to lose to a team in the bottom half of the ladder. So this is pointing in all directions, the Sydney Swans. It is at Marvel Stadium, which is about the only thing they've got going. I don't think the Saints leave Marvel for the last 4 weeks. Surely James Jordan goes to Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. I don't think they'll cop the arrogance that they've copped against other teams, just letting him do what he wants, because when he does have 46 and 4, you're probably not going to win many games against a side if you've got a player doing that. And I do expect James and the Sydney Swans to show some respect to him.
Yeah, I think Sydney will be pushed here at Marvel. I reckon Saints I think they're a lot better side at Marvel. They don't play well against the better sides. They sort of nag and but don't really look like they're an elite team. But against Sydney, who, as I said, the record shows that they've been just pushed in recent times. I'll pick the Swans, but I think St Kilda will get their chance throughout the afternoon.
We both look at it the same way. For what it's worth, the Swans need to win this to stay top 2, and the Saints have the Blues, Tigers and the Suns to finish off, so they could win all 3 of those games, and that'll keep them in wildcard contention. Hawthorn v North Melbourne, Launceston. Back to Tassie. This is the last real time we'll see a Tasmanian outfit between these two with the Tassie connection. Of course, the Devils coming into the VFL next year and the AFL the year after that. Big stat thanks to Aspect. North Melbourne's record against top 8 opponents over the last 4 years. 2 wins, 35 losses, 1 draw. Who did they draw against? Charlie Comden is a test. That's not a good result against the Hawks' key forwards.
He's just signed a 6-year deal.
Who? Tom?
With Charlie Comben with North, you're talking about?
Is that right?
Yes. That's you talk about criticism of Bailey Williams, the Eagles signing him for 6 years. Well, guess what? Comben has become, maybe it's the Tassie factor, but he has become basically almost a one-club player if he ends up seeing at that deal. So
I think he's a good player for what it's worth. I think it's a good signing.
Yeah, but people talk, 6-year contract. Well, that's pretty normal now.
That's regular. Yes. If you're signing anything under that, then are you really serious about your management? Mitch Lewis is set to miss with concussion in this one, so I'd expect Kelsha Deer to be someone who comes into the mix there alongside our man Jack Gunston, who continues to kick goals for fun, as well as Choley. And we may have a debutant, Skeeter. Just tell us a bit about Hawks tall Aidan Schubert.
Aidan Schubert. So is he a ruck or a forward?
He will be debuting for the Hawthorn side. I have no idea.
So Meek is obviously the ruckman, and
Hawks
he's a key forward.
Key forward. So how many key forwards are going to have next year?
I don't think the King thing is set, sealed and delivered.
Signed, sealed and delivered, yeah.
Sorry. Goodness me. It's the bloody...
Just a term that...
Punctuation police.
4/5 of the law.
19/70ths of the law. Hawks have won this clash 7 times by an average of 55 points. You could literally roll that. You could just replace the Hawks against anyone North Melbourne plays and say the last 7 times by an average of.
Except in
Launceston. That could be completely made up, though. I mean,
that's another 55.
Yeah. Bear in mind, last time the Hawks played in Launceston, they got smashed by Melbourne. Really,
they won 12 straight before that, though. Skates.
No, I agree, and this is where my Homewise Solar guarantee comes. I'm just trying to. I had the Jack Gunston element lined up a couple of weeks ago, and he let me down. I'm going back to the Wizard. I think the Wizard could just have a day out in Lonnie.
What are you guaranteeing?
I'm saying 15 disposals, 4 goals.
Okay, I don't mind that. I will take
a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, I assume you did, and of course you're preparing your Paywise delve. So thanks to Homewise Solar, where we can't guarantee if it's going to happen. We can guarantee you can get some money in your back pocket with Homewise Solar. Get in touch with Steve at the team at homewisesolar.com.au. Watson, 4 goals, 15 touches. That's a mild game against North Melbourne. I will say that. I'm picking the Hawks.
Me too.
Port Adelaide v GWS, Adelaide Oval, Saturday evening. Big stat thanks to Aspect. Port Adelaide have the competition's best centre clearance differential over the last 4 weeks, Skeeter. So against the Giants, which we have no idea what team they're going to roll out, the Port Adelaide Power can challenge. GWS need to win to have any chance of playing in the wild card for the rest of the year. But overall, it doesn't really interest me, this game.
No, has not a lot of interest. I think Finn Callaghan might be out for the rest of the season.
Yes, he's having surgery on an ankle.
So these are teams now that are starting to look at,
wrapping people up for
Cotton Wool, thanks for coming. Yeah, look, I think Port Adelaide were beaten up by the Brisbane Lions last week, but by and large their defence has been okay. I think Josh Carr's done a reasonable job in his first season.
Yes. As
for the Giants, they've just been so tough to pick. And last week against Sydney, they were gone in the first quarter by quarter time.
They might be done for the year, Giants. So this is a nothing game. I'll pick. You know what? I'll pick.
Who have you picked? No, who have you picked?
Well,
at least be consistent.
I've picked the Giants.
I'll pick Port. Thank you.
Okay, there's a lot different already. This
it's a tough round. It's a tough
blow
round.
The tipping wide open, and I think you're going to enjoy some of the punishments later on in the show that people have sent through. I have not set them. People have sent them in.
Well, I actually accept it as well. I'm not going to just say, I'm going to go walk naked down Cambridge Street or something.
Well, add that to the list, Ronnie, because that sounds quite good to me. Get the Revo Fitness skaters naked in there. Now, that is moving on there. Can I sneak in my Homewise Solar guarantee of the week that I missed earlier on in the show?
Yeah, sure.
Could I do that? You've done yours. I just thought, I guarantee that there will be someone from the Freo Dockers rested for Friday night footy when teams come out later today. It's all right.
Well, it's a little. I mean, I would expect there to be another player.
Managed.
If it's managed, I mean, Fitzy, come on. That's pretty
What do you
vanilla.
mean you expect to be another player? All they've rolled out over the last 3 weeks is how everyone wants to play.
Shea Bolton was managed.
But they keep saying they're not going to do it. Yeah, I agree.
But they're going to do it. They'll do it again tonight.
Perfect. I guarantee it.
Can we go for two? Two players rested.
No, well...
that's a missionary type guarantee.
Can I tack something on from another game?
Yeah, okay, do that.
Is that all right?
Yeah, because that's just pretty flaccid.
Missionary, flaccid. Okay, hope all's well, Skater. Big stat thanks to Aspect. Brisbane Carlton, of course, Marvel. Brisbane averaging 123 points scored over the last 5 games. They're absolutely sizzling and expect that to continue against Carlton for what it's worth. They've won 7 straight by an average of 43 points, Skater.
Yeah, Harry Mackay trained today. Looks like he might come back into the side.
Let's test on that
which
knee.
is big. You think you find Fitzy maybe at Marvel on Saturday night just looking for a party pie and just a shelter just to get him through before he hits whatever nightclub he's going to in Melbourne.
Right, so you're going over there for the MCG game and then you're heading to Marvel, is that right?
That's actually, I hadn't thought about it. It's a good point, Skater, because this is a Saturday night, so we could go to this game.
Don't say we. I'm not going to watch any footy.
I might go to this game.
I don't think footy's on my agenda, but until the Sunday, that is. Yeah, Brisbane's class, their quality. Look, Carlton have been, they've been good under Josh and Fraser, and I just think that the players, Gardner, I think might be coming back. I stand corrected, but he's a chance to return.
I don't know. It doesn't say it here, so who knows? I think the Lions need to keep winning to push for top 2. That's still on the agenda for them.
They've got Collingwood, Hawthorn, and of course Carlton in the mix.
Still a week away for Gardner, so
okay.
Joyce would be the obvious replacement.
Excuse me?
Darragh Joyce.
Dara.
For
whatever reason, not a lot of interest in this one either. Brisbane win. Gold Coast v Melbourne, people's first. This is just a bit of... I'm almost looking for the car crash here, Skate, a little bit. Like, I hope Gold Coast keep losing and it just turns into a real fireball. That's what I'd like to see. Big stat thanks to Aspect. Gold Coast have conceded an average of 104 points over the last 9 games. Their worst run since 2019. They cannot defend. Skeeter, they've got a healthy list too. Everyone's playing. They've got Jamara. He kicked 3 goals, 4 in the VFL. You'd think that he would be putting his hand up, and probably a couple of others as well. We saw the Petrarca, Lombard stuff from during the week, and they were hugging at training. Of course they were. They're teammates. That sort of feedback happens regularly in an AFL game. It was just the senior to junior player, but they'll have a zero.
Move on.
They'll have 0. There's not this personal rift going on. It happened in the game, and I don't have a great issue
but
with
something outside, something is happening at that club that I'm not aware of, you're not aware of, that there's too much quality there for this, and they'll have a review. Mark Evans has said that at the end of the season. Their season is gone. It's just a question of whether Melbourne's got the maturity to go up there with Maxi and the boys and bounce back from that MCG loss, because their season is alive. Their top 6 chances are alive. So on that basis, they simply have to get the result against a team which, at their best, everyone says it every week, at their best they should be winning. But that's been proven incorrect.
Yeah, well, they continue to get done in the middle of the ground, which should be their strength. Like, I know the ruck rules for Wits have sort of, and Ned Moyle's been running through there as well, but with Petrarca, Anderson, Rowell, Tuke Miller and others that run through there, that should be their real strength, and it's not. So I think they've got a fair bit of work to do in the guts.
Is a concern. I've just seen that the Brisbane Broncos play at home at Suncorp on the Saturday night, so just keep an eye on the toilets there at Suncorp for a few of the Suns players before they play on Sunday.
Oh, it's like, what are you on about?
Where's he heading to?
Well, it's perfect. Last time we saw a couple of these players are spending more time in the toilets than they are heading inside 50.
Talk about kicking a club when they're down. That was weeks ago.
Well, I didn't bring it up. Ronan did.
Ronan's just a little bloke just having a crack from out.
Are you going to pick him?
I'm tipping Melbourne, actually.
Yeah, so am I.
I think Melbourne's been consistent all year.
That's a tough one. Gold Coast could just jump out and smoke them.
And we wouldn't be surprised. We go, and then you say, where the hell has that been for 9 weeks?
Correct. And I'm looking forward to the delve, of course, coming up on the show.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
I'll delve.
Well as the punishments. I'm sure you're just going to your notes now. Essendon v Adelaide Marvel for the last one, Sunday Arvo. Big stat thanks to Aspect. Essendon's 32 inside 50 differential against Hawthorn was last week was their third worst ever. They've also had scores from stoppage differential 51-0 at three-quarter time. The first time ever they've been scoreless from sources from that source at three-quarter time, and they were 51 down. My additional Homewise Solar guarantee of the week: Adelaide will win by 100 points against Essendon on the weekend.
It's your guarantee?
The double.
The double. Yeah, fair enough. 100 points?
100 points.
Okay. Well,
it's just like, I'll do that for the rest of the year. I reckon Essendon will continue to get blown out for the last 4 games of the year.
Okay. No, I'll take that. Adelaide,
100 points every week.
Adelaide wins, percentage boost. You're right. That's done.
Okay, perfect. Shelter Brewing Co. Beer fresh from the Busselton foreshore. Let's get into some of the comments and emails and things coming in. If you want to get in touch, shelterfootycast.com.au. You can hit us up on socials, shelterfootycast. Give us a follow there. You can put a comment in the description below or send us an email, footycast@backchatstudios.com.au. Tipping forfeit ideas across YouTube and Insta. So this is what happens across the board. There's a lot of interaction here, Skate. So listen up, and you're going to pick your best you're happy with, all right? Because I think the people are coming for me as well, Skate.
Paul, the parking inspector's coming for me as well.
If Skate loses, he must sing Suspicious Minds in full on the middle of Optus Stadium. If Scully loses, he must shave the beard and wear a mullet.
That's kind of funny.
Scarecrow, whoever loses must adopt the other's hairstyle. Skeet would need to shave, full nude nut, and try and grow a beard. Scully would need to shave the beard and try and negotiate with whatever he has left up there to make it happen. I don't hate that. I don't hate you having to grow a beard, me having to sort of...
My beard would be like just grey.
Like me having to go baby shave and... maybe a little grey rinse. Maybe who cares about TV? I couldn't care.
Well, I do get paid by my employer, and he says, "What do you look like an idiot for?" You just look like.
What will happen if you grow a beard? See, this is why it's good. Post footy season, you grow a beard.
Yeah,
what about you grow a beard for like a month or something like that? Anyway, Zelma, loser has to steal each other's look for a year. Billy will have to try grow out his hair. I wouldn't have to grow it out that much. He can grow on top, shave the beard, wear button-down tops. Mark shave the last and top grow, and he can wear whatever he wants: hoodies, tracky pants, barefooted.
What about something like even shaving your legs or something that's a bit more? I mean, I don't know. We have to do the one I like so far is, to be honest with you, the first one.
It wouldn't be hard to steal your look. I just buy a blue button-down shirt and then just walk around that same one every day for
That's
a
year. Fair shout. I'll take that on board.
Riddler, a loser has to ring Graham Wright and put their hat in the Carlton coaching race. That would be
unfortunately, it'll be decided before then. But
I could ring Andrew Dillon and say, "I want your job, mate."
Just ask Adam Simpson. Say, Skimo, we want to be put in there.
Put us in. Matty says, "Razors shave their heads bald." Sorry, Skeeter. Yeah. That would be funny.
Hilarious.
Harmo, a live rendition of Suspicious Minds, the whole thing, maybe the JBM night. Muffy says, a proper karaoke version of Suspicious Minds to be treasured forever. Jay says, the loser to stay in Woolies for a whole day and every box of Jats crackers consumed takes one off. That's great. Let's go now. I'm happy to do it. Ty says shave their beard or their head. So you shave.
Why isn't this shaving? You know what? I'd much prefer to do something.
James says Will shaves the beard. Skeet grows a handlebar moustache. That would be
Imagine
good.
me rocking up. Look, my wife, already on the verge of divorce.
Yeah.
It'd be just, look, it's been great over 30 years. But
Andrew
goodbye.
says Skeet must attend a spiritual Bali trip with Scully.
Oh, does that include the Y bar?
Andrew says Scully to host a Skeeter appreciation event and be only nice to him for the night.
That'd be too long for him.
So there we go. Just a couple more emails to get through, Skeet. I know
Yeah.
you've got somewhere to go.
No, I'm just going to give you my delve and then I'm going to nick off.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's get into it. Let's see a Skeeter's delve.
If I want to delve, I'll delve.
We can go on together.
There's a lot of people out there that trust my footy IQ. So Baka Kumis was great in defence for the Bulldogs as well. I thought. Who? Baka Kumis. It's all plagiarism in some form.
Great. I've got a little update for you after you finish this, Skeeter.
Yeah, well, I did say there's plagiarism in some form of everything we do, and so that's where my delve comes today. Now, I always attribute where I get my stats from, but I think this is important because you have been banging on about this young bloke at the West Coast Eagles for a long time, about how good he is, how mistreated he is by certain parts of officialdom. But I'm going to just jump into this little batch of stats from Miguel Sanchez. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, he's a good West Coast
good
stats,
operator.
Yeah.
So have a listen to this. Now, Miguel, thank you for allowing me to use this as part of my delve, thanks to Paywise.
Do you think that's his real name?
I have no idea, but if it is, it's got a cartoon character of The Simpsons there, so I'm suspecting it's not. Nonetheless, the most clearances for the West Coast Eagles in a season by players in their third season or fewer. I'm not sure if you've seen this stat. Who would you think would be at number one over the journey?
What's the stat?
The most clearances for the Eagles in a season by players in their third season or fewer.
So he's 3.
So who do you think would be number one at the moment? In terms of in history, which Eagle do you think had the best?
Critus.
Not quite. C. Judd. Going back.
Okay,
Now,
that feels like it should have been obvious.
I was trying to lead you in that direction. 129, that was in 2004, through 23 games. At number 2, with 125, is Harley Reid this year through 19 games.
Right.
That's a pretty impressive record. Judd comes in at number 3 with 120 clearances back in 2003. That's through 23 games. Luke Shuey's on that list, 114 clearances in 2011 through 25 matches. Daniel Kerr's on that list with 110 in 2003 through 21 games. Matty Prittis makes the cut, and so does Daniel Kerr again. So It just shows you Harley Reid has, despite all his faults, all his misdemeanours with the umpires, those numbers stack up very favourably with who I regard as the best Eagle I've ever seen.
Yeah, Chris Judd, right? Yeah, wow. So, and he's done it in 4 less games. Is that what I heard? 23 games versus 19. So he's averaging more.
Yeah, what is he? He's 4 short, but he's also got 4 games up his sleeve, so that'll be broken probably even as soon as Sunday.
That was a good delve. Well done. Thanks to Paywise and mainly to Miguel, who just read out his. I
did say. I was looking, and you know what, Miguel, you're a good man. I presume you're a footy head, so and I presume those stats are right. By the way, I hope they are.
Gareth says, so I've had a few days to think about it and sulk via email. Harley does get a bit of a tax, but Freo are always going to win. This is their year. Good luck to them. Honestly, all I want is consistency in umpire officiating for both teams. Call the same, holding the ball, same push, same holding without. Don't care if it's a forward 50 or D50. Just fucking pay it consistently. Honest fans have integrity too. You can look at a game and know you get beaten by the better team. But having that salty taste of shit umpiring in my mouth is something I can do without. Love the pod. Always makes me laugh, especially when the 6PR crossover comes back for a bit more carry on. We sort of, on 6PR, we sort of, I think sometimes we need to straighten ourselves up a bit. I think we forget where we are.
After 7 o'clock, certainly
it gets very loose over.
The older demographic.
Give us a call, 133-882. G'day, fellas. Love the pod, but Scully, to call the action by Ty Gallop mild was poor. With all the stuff going around to do with CTE, don't give me this. Multiple players retired over the last few years, secondary to concussion. Stamping out any intentional contact to the head needs to be a priority, in particular gutless ones like this. The risk of head knocks is high enough due to the combative nature of AFL. We need gutless acts just like that one to be highlighted and removed. You are constantly saying you want to see the action penalised and not the outcome. I think this is what we have seen in this case and should not be playing it down as mild. The only thing is, I don't think his head was. That's why I see it as mild, because I don't think the head. I think I think the head contact was over accentuated by our man, Mitch Georgiades. That's all I'll say. But fair enough, Ryan. I appreciate it. Skeet's got to get out the door. Shut up, FootyCast live from Backchat Studios. Built by Grounded.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the footy. I'm going to get to my car like Lachlan Kennedy. Geez, quick. Before the parking inspector gets hold of me. But
you used to be quick. You beat
Dean Capabianco.
I thought it was Hopewadi, but yeah.
Hopewadi?
Look out. 2 fingers all through. Whoa, quick out of that one.
At the bottom.
Hopewadi.